So I hear you want to listen to some guy in his late 20s complain about online dating. Well, you've come to the right place. Hey there friends, it's me Peter, coming to you with the video that you've all been waiting for, well, at least for the past couple months or so. Yes friends, it's my long-awaited online dating update. You might remember early last year, I did a video about online dating, where I kind of talked about my experience with it so far, and how things had been going and whatnot, and I figured, why not give you guys a little update on what's been going on? So I created a little survey, where this was one of the options, asking you which topic you want me to vlog about next. And apparently you guys want to hear the most about this, so your wish is my command. I have now been online dating for almost 3 years. I started online dating on September 2nd, 2013, which was my 25th birthday. I kind of gave it as a birthday present to myself. I joined a free online dating site, OkCupid, if you're actually curious about it. And that's where it all started. Nearly 3 years later, not much has changed. I still haven't had very much luck in the online dating world. In the time I have been online dating, I have been a member of 4 online dating sites. 2 of them were free, and those 2 sites I am still a member of to this day. I joined Match.com for 3 months, and while I did communicate with a couple people on there, nothing ever led to anything. And then I joined eHarmony last year for about 3 months, and that by far was the worst experience I've ever had in online dating. Not one person replied to my messages. Yeah, I basically wasted my money on that one. As you can see, online dating hasn't been the greatest friend of mine. I really don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just, if the area I'm in just has a shallow pool of people I can select from, if I'm just not doing a very good job of sending messages, if my pictures aren't that great. I really don't know what it is. So let's tackle these issues one at a time, shall we? Number 1, the shallow pool. There are not that many single people from my town on these online dating sites. There's a few people from the surrounding towns, but most of the people on these sites are living in either Ames or Des Moines, or a suburb of the two, which is about an hour to an hour and a half away from me, which doesn't sound like very far, and it really isn't that far, but for someone who's settled into a job already, and already has a good idea of where they're going with their future, they probably don't want to be communicating with a guy that's as far away as I am. Now, I'm not saying long-distance relationships can't work. They do work. In fact, I have seen them work. But I think for the most part, those long-distance relationships were started by people who were together before it became long-distance. At least that's my perception of it. I could be completely wrong on that, but that's just the way I see it. Now let's go to problem number 2, the messages I'm sending. Every single one of these online dating sites I've been on says the exact same thing. Do not send a message that just says, hey, how's it going? They said send something that's kind of medium length, kind of maybe introduces yourself, mention a few things from their profile, ask a question, mention something you two have in common, something of that nature. My problem is that as a writer, I tend to ramble on and on a lot. And that's my problem with sending these messages. I tend to make them probably longer than they should be. I also have a bad habit of making these messages sound really, really formal. For instance, I always say, hey there, how's it going? My name is Peter, how are you? I see that on your profile you say this, this, and this. I'm into that too. What specifically about this do you like? I hope to hear back from you. Sincerely, Peter. That pretty much is a typical message I would send to someone. And when I say it out loud, it sounds quite ridiculous, because that is way too formal for a very informal setting. And then not too long ago, I mentioned something about this on Facebook, and I had a couple friends reply that said they didn't mind getting the one sentence, hey, how's it going? And I'm slowly starting to get the impression that a lot of people do send those messages and are quite successful. One friend of mine that told me this actually met her boyfriend via online dating. So let me get this straight. The site is telling me not to send a short message, but instead kind of be more descriptive, but my friends are telling me that the shorter messages are better and the "hey, how's it going" can work. Well, what the heck am I supposed to do then? And finally, let's talk a little bit about pictures and, as an addendum, profiles. First and foremost, I don't have that many current pictures of myself. It's not exactly my fault, it's that I don't really get my picture taken all that often. Even when I'm out hanging out with friends, no one really takes pictures of me. And I'm also not really into selfies. Now, I know that's kind of ridiculous saying that, as I'm a guy that records videos of myself and posts them on YouTube, but it's true. I'm not good at taking selfies. I always look off in them. I need to have someone actually taking a picture of me. But when I do that in public, that's going to look kind of silly, especially if I'm alone. I would prefer a photo out with friends. And then there's my profile. You want me to tell you an honest truth, my friends? I have actually had people I know help write my profile. You want to know why that is? Because I am awful at talking about myself. I hate bragging about myself. I don't really like to toot my own horn. I'm worried that when I do, I sound like I've got a bit of an ego and I'm bragging, which I don't want to do. I don't want to brag about myself. So, yeah, I'm kind of caught between a rock and a hard place there. There's also the fact that I'm kind of an open book with people, and sometimes I reveal things that I probably should not be revealing on an online dating site. In fact, very recently, I went through all my questions on OkCupid, because you can answer as many questions as you'd like on there. I actually deleted all my answers to all my questions, and I've since gone through and started re-answering them, because it was too much work for me to go back and remove the bad answers that I didn't want out there. So I just went through and deleted all of them, and I'm slowly but surely in the process of re-answering them, but it's gonna take a while before I get to where I was. And that's kind of online dating in a nutshell for me. I don't really have people return my messages. I have people visit my profile, but they never reply. And yeah, it just seems like this whole online dating thing isn't working for me. Now, I know there's some people it just doesn't work for. I'm one of those guys, as I said earlier, I don't like to toot my own horn. I don't like bragging about myself. I'm one of those guys that's probably more likely to meet someone out in person. I think I'm one of those people that people need to meet in order to understand what I'm really like, because I'm kind of hard to describe, to be quite honest, at least in my opinion. Maybe people feel differently about that, I'm not entirely sure. So, where do I go from here? For the time being, I am going to remain on both the free online dating sites. Even if they aren't working very well, I think it is probably a good idea to just keep myself out there and just keep the profiles open. I have considered deleting them in the past. Certainly an option I still have available to me. If I do decide to delete them, it probably won't be for another year or so. I want to give it at least until the end of the year to see where everything goes and seeing if I want to regroup or anything like that. And if online dating doesn't work, I do have a couple other options for finding a girlfriend. One of them I've been hesitant to do because I really don't want to impose upon my friends, but I've actually considered asking my friends if they had someone they would set me up with. Now, I've attempted this twice in the past. Once when I was in college, and once a couple of years after I graduated. The one in college, we had a date set, and then she backed out of it because she didn't really feel comfortable going ahead, and we never talked again. The other one that happened after college, this girl and I had been texting each other for a while. The girl actually was a lot younger than me. She was 20, going on 21. I was almost 26 at the time. So, I mean, that's quite a big age gap, and this girl had never had a relationship before. And I think I had revealed something to her that she didn't really find all that interesting about me or all that attractive, I guess. I won't say what it was that I revealed. It wasn't anything bad, or it wasn't like a ghost from my past or anything. But I revealed that, and I remember a couple days later I asked her if she wanted to meet up, and she said, "No, I'm pretty busy right now." And, you know, we kind of left it at that. And she's texted me like twice more just randomly since then, but I mean, I don't really see a relationship coming out of that, and she hasn't texted me in well over a year and a half. So I'm a bit uneasy about asking my friends about setups, but it is something I'd be willing to consider if that's something my friends wouldn't be offended about me asking. And I don't think they would be offended, but just me personally, I worry about imposing. It's something I feel weird asking about. Because the two situations before, I didn't ask to be set up. They approached me, my friends approached me, said, "Would you be interested in being set up?" And I said, "Sure." And they both set me up with these people. I never approached them, they approached me. So, again, it's kind of a conundrum here. What do I do? Do you have a suggestion for how to meet people? Leave me a comment down below letting me know what worked for you or what didn't work for you. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos from me, simply click that subscribe button down below. Next week, I'll be shooting a long-awaited video that one friend in particular has been requesting that I do for a while. And you know what? It's time that I sit down and finally do this video. I won't say what it is. It's kind of going to be a bit of a surprise, but the person that requested this video will know what I'm talking about. Until next week, this is Peter saying see you later.